Well, hey, welcome to the Conversations podcast where we believe conversations create change. We are your hosts, Mike and Steph, and we're so grateful to be back on the pod with you today. Babe, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
You look great.
Thank you. I am excited because I have
Your little
my
Christmas
mug.
You are obsessed with that mug.
I am.
I think
because I can only use it during this Christmas time.
That's true, but you have like 3 different Christmas mugs. We have too many. We have a mug problem.
No, we don't.
We definitely we have mugs that you haven't used in years.
Well, first of all, that's not true. I use all of my mugs. It depends on my mood. It depends on the time of day and time of year.
Got it. So you're all about your Christmas mugs now, obviously, because we're in a
Yes.
Christmas season.
My Christmas mug that I'm using today is actually a little Christmas tree. It's so cute.
You're holding a Christmas tree. There's a Christmas tree behind you. You're just a whole Christmas vibe right now.
Just living my best life right now.
Well, I'm really happy that you're back on the pod because last time when I did the podcast, it was by myself and people were like, "Yo, what is this? This is like not good.
That's not true.
Where's Steph at? This is Conversations with Mike and Steph, and Steph is not here. She's back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, she's here.
Guess who's back? Back.
Back again. Steffi's back. Tell a friend.
Okay.
Guess who's back?
Okay.
Guess. Well, hey, today we're really excited about today's podcast because we're going to talk about a conversation that's been extremely helpful for us, and we're hoping that it's going to be helpful for you guys as well. But we're actually going to talk about 4 things that you can do to actually sustain your marriage for 2025. But before we get into those 4 things, here's the deal. Mm-hmm. It's the Christmas season. We cannot miss out and skip over the fact that it's Christmas.
Correct.
This is the best season of the year.
It really is.
Probably second to spooky season.
You do love spooky season.
I do love spooky season. But
it's because it was my birthday in October.
Right.
I know that's why it's your favorite.
That is why it's my favorite, because it's your birthday in October and then I get to watch Halloween Town. So it's just it's just a fantastic month. Okay, why is Christmas your favorite season?
Well, hold on a second. I didn't say it was my favorite season.
Oh, it's not?
I just feel like I love all the seasons. Yeah.
All the seasons?
I do. I love summer. I'm a summer girl.
Yeah, but like, but it's June is hurricane season.
I
That's
feel
the summer.
judged.
Oh, I'm not judging you. I just didn't know that you liked all seasons.
I do, but I do love the Christmas season.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get seasons in Florida.
We don't.
We don't.
We create the season inside of our home.
Wow, that's true. It does look like
Winter
Christmas
Wonderland.
threw up in our living room.
Excuse
in the best
me,
way.
It looks like Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. Okay, so if it's not your favorite season, why do you like the Christmas season?
No, I love it. I love the traditions. I love the gatherings. I love just reflecting on the year.
You didn't mention any of the good stuff.
I love the hot cocoa.
There you go.
I love the Christmas movies.
Yes.
I love sitting on the couch and with a Christmas mug. And I love just like the Christmas tree there and the vibes. And then watching a movie.
Yes,
with
100%.
my fake hot cocoa because I'm allergic to dairy and I can't have real milk.
Oh my God, gross.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Well, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, except they discontinued my favorite.
They did?
They did.
They discontinued the vegan hot cocoa?
They did, and now the gross one is the only one, so I refuse.
Who makes that?
Swiss something.
Swiss, if you're watching. It's a major problem that my wife cannot drink hot cocoa anymore. This is crazy. I didn't know.
I know. It's very sad.
I love the Christmas season is actually my favorite season.
Yeah.
Because of the hot cocoa, because of the Christmas lights, because of the Christmas carols. Okay, why don't you like Christmas? Like, are there certain things about Christmas that you don't like?
Yeah, like the other day I had to go to the mall to make a return.
Oh yeah, you're crazy.
And I was so upset.
Well, I feel like it wasn't just to make a return.
It was to make a return.
Like, I feel like you kind of just like wanted to go to the mall.
No, I did not want to go to the mall, especially not.
And because like you like called me and you're like, "Babe, the mall right now is crazy," and I'm like,
"Is that how I sound in your head?"
I'm like, "Duh, it's Christmas," and you're like, "Yeah, I totally forgot."
Is that my voice in your head?
Yeah, when you say stuff like that, like the mall's totally crazy. Why are there so many people here? It's like because it's Christmas.
Why do I sound like a grumpy old man?
I don't. That's what you sounded like.
This is a problem.
The mall's crazy, babe. There's so many people. It's like, it's Christmas. Duh.
I can't with you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. We don't like the malls.
I don't like the mall. I don't like the hustle and bustle. It's also a little bit complicated, with different family dynamics.
Yeah.
My family specifically, we all live in different cities.
Yeah, for
So it
sure.
can be a little
Your
bit
your family
stressful.
specifically. I love them a lot. They're amazing.
We're all like in, different cities. So it can, I kind of miss like the time where we were all together and it
Yes.
was easier. Um, and just different schedules. It's busy time like in church and ministry and
Yes.
at work and just it can just feel a little bit
I
chaotic.
do want to talk about Christmas gatherings with your family
Okay, you've
because
been a part of them for many
for
years.
a very long time,
Yes.
for 16 years,
Yeah.
half of my life, I've been going to your family
Okay,
Christmas
first of all,
parties.
it's more than half of your life, but yeah, we'll go with half your life.
Calling me old?
Mhm.
Yeah, I love your family Christmas parties because there's like I've never experienced like when I've like first of all, I've never experienced like an all Dominican food Christmas party. You know what I
You
mean?
know
Like
it's bad when my mom this year is like, we are not
not having
having
Dominican
Dominican
food.
food for
And
Christmas.
she's usually the one who cooks
Cooks the
and picks up
Dominican
all the
food.
Dominican food.
Oh, that was so funny.
It's hilarious.
She's like, I want Italian.
Did she really
She
say that?
really said that.
It's like that's so random.
I know.
Is she gonna make it?
No.
Oh, got it. That's funny. But I love Christmas with your family, especially because all of your nieces and nephews.
Yeah,
They are a good time.
they are. They're amazing.
They are wild.
Yep.
It's my favorite thing to open up Christmas gifts with them. There's
Hmm.
like wrapping paper everywhere.
Yeah.
Yelling is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's
They're
the
so excited.
it's the best. Okay, I love the Christmas season. There's some things about it I don't like. Obviously, we don't like going to the mall. We don't like the last minute Christmas shopping.
No, I hate that.
What else? Is there anything else about the Christmas season?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. I feel
Yeah.
like the pros definitely outweigh the cons.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought this was really important for us to do, especially since like it's the Christmas season. I think I should hit you with some rapid fire Christmas questions. Are you
Hit
ready?
me?
Yes.
Okay.
So I got some questions prepared for you. Are you ready?
You didn't tell me that this was not part of our plan.
Nope. I planned this myself, and I got some. Are you ready?
Oh God.
Okay. Question. Don't look.
I don't have them here.
All right.
You didn't
You
plan
ready?
it.
Question number one: eggnog or hot cocoa?
What? I've never had eggnog, so obviously hot cocoa.
You've never had
Is eggnog coquito?
Oh my gosh. No, it's not.
Oh.
Oh Lord.
What
Okay.
is eggnog in Spanish?
Real tree or fake tree?
I'm allergic to real tree, so fake tree all day.
You know how hard it's been for me to not have a real tree in our home?
I know.
It's crazy. Compromise, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
I mean, compromise, it's a life or death.
Oh, yeah, good point. Good point. Okay. If you made your own Christmas Carol group, who would be in it?
Oh, like famous people?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know I'm not good at artist names,
Who would be in
but
it?
there would definitely be some Dominican like band
I totally know
member.
who would be in your group.
Who?
Daddy Yankee, Usher, who else? Who else do you listen to? You listen to like super old school music. Ludacris. That would be your Christmas Carol.
That's so incorrect. I mean,
You literally
Okay,
listen
let's move on.
to
Next
each of those
question.
artists every single day.
that's not true, guys.
Okay, whatever. All right, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Babe, you know I'm not good at
What's-
Christmas.
What's your
I
favorite?
mean, I'm not good at remembering artists and names and movies and all that stuff.
So period. You're not gonna
The
remember.
Proposal.
That's not a Christmas movie. Although I think the setting was Christmas time.
Was. Don't you remember when they went to Alaska and then the dog gets taken up?
Just because it was snowing doesn't mean that it was a Christmas movie.
Okay.
It snows in Alaska. Jesus. Okay, what's your favorite Christmas song? You don't know. You don't remember. You're kidding.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. Oh no,
But-
Pentatonics.
But why'd you say it with an accent? We wish you American
That's not what I said. Pentatonics Christmas.
Pentatonic. That's the name of a band.
Oh,
Lord.
we need to start over.
You're not a real Christmas person. Okay.
Wait. No,
what?
the one that I really like, and it's in Spanish.
Feliz Navidad.
Next question.
Okay. Elf on the Shelf. Creepy or weird?
It's a little creepy.
It's so creepy. I hate Elf on a Shelf.
Correct.
It's
Next.
terrible.
Next one.
No, that's it.
Oh, thank
I
God.
had a few more, but you were like, it was just, this is a very, very sad time. A very, very sad time.
Can we move on from these?
Yeah, we can. We can. All right. Have you had, did you ever have any Christmas traditions growing up?
Christmas traditions. I mean, my mom would deck out our house.
Bro, she would.
She really would. And she always had like a theme every single year. So every single year was like a different theme, a different color.
I think one time, like, I went to your house and your mom had like red toilet paper for Christmas.
Oh my God. What an exact I can't wait
No,
to
I'm
show
not.
you this.
I'm not. I'm dead serious. I think the toilet
I
paper was
wouldn't put it
red.
past her.
It was red, and then the liquid inside of the toilet was green. It was a whole thing. She thinks of every detail, I
She
swear.
really does.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, and so we would eat the grapes. Oh no, that's New Year's.
That's New Year's. Jesus Christ. This is honestly the most disappointing. You literally said you're a Christmas fan. You know nothing about Christmas. You know nothing about Christmas. This is crazy.
Honestly, tell me your traditions.
I mean, I've been with you for the last 8 years. I don't think we have one tradition aside from the fact that we just go to our family's house, you know. But I think we want to add
I
it.
mean,
We
your
want to.
tradition
We want to add it.
growing up.
My tradition growing up. You want to talk about my childhood? Oh God. Next question, please. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm crying.
No, we had a really nice tradition. My mom and I every year together, like growing up, we always used to put the Christmas tree together. That was one of my favorite
Oh,
things.
that's
Like,
really sweet.
it was a very, very special time. And we even had ornaments that were like 15 years old. I mean,
Aw.
it was awesome. That's the Christmas tradition we had. But you and I don't have one. Why?
Because we're always bouncing around so many houses.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's also because you actually don't like Christmas. You know nothing.
I love Christmas.
You know nothing about Christmas. It's crazy.
Okay, you said you wanted to start a new tradition.
Oh, I do. I do. I think we should. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, we have,
I think
yeah.
we should read like I think one of the ones that we talked about was reading the Christmas story together.
Yeah, on Christmas morning.
Yeah. So opening up the Bible to the book of Luke and reading the Christmas story.
Yeah,
I
love
think
that.
I think traditions are special.
So do I. I love that.
You know, so I'm really excited for us to have our first tradition together. But here's what we really wanted to get into.
Yeah.
You know, it's the end of the year. You know, 2024 has absolutely flown by. It's been like literally we blinked and it was over.
Yeah.
It was gone. You know, and I think oftentimes like at the end of the year, people can sometimes forget to just think through
Yeah.
like everything that's happened like at the end of the year. And I think
Do you really want to pause and go through this year for us?
yeah, actually no, I don't. Next question, please.
This year was this year wasn't it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Highs and lows.
20, yeah,
God is still good. He's faithful.
highs and lows. Then there were highs and then lows.
But you know what?
We learned a lot.
We learned a lot.
I
And
re-
you know
yeah.
what? And we stayed so connected
We
through the
did.
whole thing.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's a win right there. We definitely became a better version of ourselves.
We did.
100%, right? Going into 2025, I think it's really important for us to, I really think that the way that you end something really determines the way you start something,
That's right.
right? So oftentimes, like when we're starting a new year, people are really excited about setting resolutions and setting goals. Starting is incredible. We should always start, but what I think is more important than the start is the finish.
Yeah.
Right? So it's almost like the first thing actually is at the start. The first thing is actually the finish.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that the way that we decide to end 2024 can create a foundation for what we're stepping into for 2025.
That's right.
So one of the things that we talked about many things. We talked about all the areas where we want to grow in, mental health. We talked about career goals. We talked about physical goals. But there's definitely this one area in our life that we want to grow in that's relationally with each other. we want to keep building the foundation of our marriage.
Yeah, we want to sustain it.
We want to sustain it. So we're going to talk about 4 things to sustain a strong marriage in 2025.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things that we've done in the last couple of years is actually taken some time at the end of the year and kind of reflected on the year. And then we focus on our mental health, our physical health, our financial health, our emotional health, and our relational health.
Yes,
We missed one though. We missed the spiritual health
we
one.
did.
Yeah.
We did. So
However,
there's really 6 things.
there's 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the ones that we really want to talk about today is one of the ones that is most important to us.
Yeah.
One, they're all important. They're all pillars. They're all foundational. But one of the ones that we want to focus on today is the relational part, more specifically our marriage. And, obviously I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. So I really believe that the quality of our life is strongly impacted by the quality of our relationships, right? And a lot of times we don't realize this because it happens so unconsciously. But when our relationships are not doing so good, chances are we're not feeling too good, and so it's hard for us to show up well in all the other areas of our life when relationally we're not doing too good. So I love that we're going to focus on that today and just talk about the ways that we're going to choose to sustain our marriage in the next year.
Absolutely. And we want you guys to experience the same thing that we want to experience in 2025. If you're in a relationship, if you're married, we want you to experience not just how to build a foundation, but how to sustain it.
Yeah.
So here are 4 things. Why don't you hit us with the first one?
All right. First one, right off the bat, we're going to prioritize our communication.
Yeah.
Healthy communication is foundational for a healthy, thriving marriage or relationship. Without the proper communication, the relationship is not going to work out, right? And a lot of times we think that just because we're having a lot of conversations, that means that we're connecting. But we can be talking a lot about our logistics in life, right? We can be handling so many different parts of our lives, and that doesn't necessarily mean that we are connecting.
Right.
So one of the things that I love, and I love to encourage so many couples to do, is the weekly check-in. A lot of times we can get so lost in the hustle and bustle of life. I know that we've fallen a trap to this so many times in the span of our relationship that we can go weeks without properly checking in with each other. And there's no way that we can build a healthy emotional connection if we are not communicating and being intentional about our communication.
Right.
That's a skill that we have to develop, So a weekly check-in is not sometimes, when I introduce this concept to couples, they're like, do people really do this? This is so weird. This is so awkward. What am I going to do? Pull up some questions and ask my spouse these questions? And it's like, actually, yeah, this is what you should be doing. Unfortunately, many of us don't really grow up with a good example of what healthy communication in a relationship looks like.
Right.
And so then we're just going about our life thinking that we're good communicators, but we're actually not.
Right, for sure. And sometimes I think people think that these weekly check-ins are super daunting.
Yeah.
It's this really long, drawn out meeting. Sometimes it has to be those if there's been something super difficult that happened in a week. But sometimes it can be as simple as, hey, how are you doing today? How's your week been? Hey, just checking in on you. Is everything okay? Hope you're having a good day. It's simple.
Well, the more specific ones, right? Like when you actually sit down and you talk. For us, we love sitting on our couch. I love being in the car. So some of my best conversations happen in a car. Mike hates this, but you've compromised a lot with me where I'm like,
I
hey,
absolutely hate it.
I know, but I love you because you make an effort.
Yes.
Hey, can we just jump in the car and sit in a parking lot and talk?
Oh, never mind. I was thinking about something else that I don't like.
What? Are you going to throw me under the bus?
Well, it's not that I don't like it. I just think it's funny.
What?
So we're home. We're together all day. And then you leave the house. And then as soon as you get in the car, you call me.
Okay. You know what tends to happen?
And then we'll talk, right? And then we'll hang up. And then you'll call me again in 2 minutes.
I cannot believe you right now.
And then we'll talk. Because I'm happy to talk to my wife. And then we'll hang up, and then you'll call me again.
Exhibit A this morning. I have breakfast with my best friend. And how many times did my husband call me in the span of that breakfast date?
I feel like I only called you like twice.
You called me like five
I feel
times.
like I only called you twice
No,
because
no,
you and
no.
Carla
This is
had a
this.
meeting. You guys were supposed to have breakfast for an hour.
First of all, it was an hour and a half.
5 hours later.
We 9 a.m. I was back home by 11 a.m.
Oh
because
God.
we meant business.
Yes.
Anyway,
Anyways, yes.
no, but in these weekly check-ins,
Yeah.
it's a little deeper than just like, it's how are you really doing? It's hey, what's going on in your life right now that is stressing you out? Is there any way that I can support
Right.
you in? What brought you joy this week? Is there something that I did that helped you feel connected to me? What things did I miss that didn't make me feel
Right.
connected to you? How are we doing with the mental load? Are you feeling supported with the mental load? Like these are some of the questions that you can ask in these weekly check-ins
Mm-hmm.
that can really help you connect emotionally because it helps you come into my inner world and
Right.
I get to go into your inner world.
Right.
Like
Right.
we have so many thoughts in a day. We go through so many things, in our separate individual lives. And sometimes like there's just too much going on that by the end of the day it's like the last thing I want to do is talk. The
Mm-hmm.
last thing I talk for a living. I literally am sitting down for hours at a time,
Yeah.
literally talking all day long. Sometimes you get home and I'm like, babe, I love you, but can we just sit in silence? And
Yeah,
so
sure. It's like, babe, I can't wait to tell you everything that happened today. You're like, can we watch some reality TV first? Like, sure. I guess I'll go talk to Jesus about it.
you're so out of control. But with these weekly check-ins, right? Like if we can sit down over a coffee shop and
Yeah,
just talk
for
about these
sure.
things, how much more intentional would that be for us nurturing our emotional
Yeah,
connection? And it's going to
definitely.
help build on that
Yeah.
communication. It's not going to happen by default.
Yeah, but I think sometimes like the weekly check-in idea can feel like a really, really big thing.
Hmm.
But I think the reason that oftentimes like they become really, really big things is because we neglect even the daily check-ins.
Correct.
So usually like so when we talk about like weekly check-ins, I know like probably some of the guys or like me, when this was like new for me, I was like,
Hmm.
a weekly check-in, what does this mean? Like, okay, we're gonna have to sit down for like 2 hours and how am I gonna develop all these emotional questions to be attuned? And like again, like sometimes that's needed, but I've learned that sometimes those are usually results of neglecting just the daily.
Yeah.
So I would say like one of the things that I think has helped us, or it's new, it's one of the things that I've been implementing in our marriage is like daily, I'll just send you like a text message like, hey babe, how you doing? Thinking about you. Here's a Bible verse. Want to let you know that I'm praying for you. And you do the same thing for me.
Hmm.
A couple hours will go by, you're like, hey babe, how's it going? Just checking in, making sure that you're okay. So I don't know. I kind of feel like weekly check-ins are definitely needed. I think some intentional time to really just talk and to be able to connect.
Yeah.
But would you say that sometimes like those daily like rhythms, those daily check-ins
Yeah.
can help that weekly check-in not feel like this massive,
Yeah, of course.
overwhelming type project?
Yeah. That creates a healthy level of just connection,
Right,
throughout
right.
your
Good
day,
point. Yeah.
especially if you are, kind of busy with work or one spouse is at home and the other one's at work or
Right,
both are at work. There's so many different dynamics out there. So, of course, checking in periodically throughout your day is important. Sometimes that's not doable for a lot of people.
right.
So the weekly check-ins are definitely highly encouraged,
Yeah, for
like
sure.
that checkpoint
Yeah,
where I mean, you go through a week without gas and you're going to be empty.
yeah.
And so we want to be able to implement those kind of things in our weekly rhythm.
Right,
That way we continue to nurture that. The reality is that healthy communication is not going to happen by default, it's going to happen with intention.
right.
And
By
so,
design.
exactly. So, in order for us to create a healthy, thriving marriage, we have to have the foundation of healthy communication.
Yeah,
And healthy communication starts with intentionality.
100%.
And so one of those skills that I think is been so helpful and is so helpful for so many people is the concept of weekly check-ins. And those are separate from date nights. Those are sometimes it could be a 10-15 minute conversation.
Yep, for sure.
It doesn't have to be this elaborate, couple
100%.
hours. It's like at the end of the night, once the kids are down, you're in bed and you're like, man, how are you really doing?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, for sure. And I think two practical, like easy steps that somebody can take is number one. I mean, this is some of the things I try and implement is one, at least send a text message during the day.
Yeah.
Hey, checking in. Want to let you know I'm thinking about you, praying for you, hoping you have a great day,
Yeah.
like type deal.
I tend to send you the funny TikToks.
You do. You send me the funny TikToks and a million memes
Yes.
and 47 videos of Italy every single day. So I think like a daily like text, type deal, just checking on each other. But then at the end of the night, like, hey, how was your day? Like when you guys get home and you see each other for the first time, just don't walk past each other. Like have a moment. Like, hey, how was your day? How was work? Everything going okay?
Yeah.
And I think those are two like really good ways, like two very easy, practical ways to just get started.
So I think about so many couples that I talk to that, obviously we are in a different type of season in life. And so this feels doable. And so sometimes when you're in a different, like, you've got a, couple of kids running around and it's just so daunting to even
Right.
think about that. It's like we can't even think about ourselves right now. Even just a little like embrace, of like making eye contact. You hug each other for 30 seconds. You make eye
There's nothing that I
contact.
love more than an embrace.
Okay. But
Can embrace you
but that is,
all night.
oh
I'm
God,
kidding. Okay, I'm
okay.
sorry. Go ahead.
So then, but that creates a moment of connection. It's
Yes.
literally 30 seconds of your day, of
Right.
your time. You're going to
Yes.
be okay. Nothing's going to happen in those 30 seconds, but that intentional eye contact, that, man, it's so good to see you,
Yeah, for
can make
sure.
such a difference. Even when there's tension, even when there's
Totally.
unresolved
Totally.
issues,
Totally.
you put a pin on that.
Actually, I would say that when there's tension, those are the moments that you really want to make sure that you're checking in.
Yeah.
Because if not, tension will do the opposite. It'll create a wedge and it'll create separation.
Yeah.
But kind of like that check-in almost helps rebuild that bridge.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make the tension greater than the relationship.
Correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it also helps you put into practice not allowing the way that you feel dictate the way your relationship is going.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like taking action despite how I feel. I might be angry at you. I might not want to see you right now. I may not like you very much right now, but I'm going to show up in the healthiest way. And that's going to be, I'm going to embrace you and I'm going to do the things that I know I need to do to make the situation better.
Awesome. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to prioritize communication.
Yeah.
Here we go. The second thing that we're going to do is that we're going to have date nights, but we're going to have date nights with a purpose,
Love that.
right? So keeping the romance alive requires intentionality. And I think play is a key factor in keeping desire and intimacy in your relationship,
That's right.
right? So one of the things that I love about our dynamic is that we're always laughing.
Yes.
There's no one I rather be with than you,
Oh,
right? There's no, like, you're my best friend. We have a blast. But here's the reality. Even though that's true, if we're not intentional about date nights or moments for us to connect, we're going to miss it,
that's right.
right? So we're not just going to have date nights. We're going to have date nights with a purpose, right? So for us, that looks like Friday nights. Friday night for us, we know that's our date time. That's that one day out of the week where we have hours together, where we play, where we talk, where we do whatever, but we're going to plan it, right? Why? Because anything that's important usually requires a plan,
Correct.
right? If it doesn't make it on your calendar, then you're probably going to miss it, right? So just like I have a meeting on my calendar for work, just like I know I have to be at work at 9 o'clock in the morning, I know that on Fridays I have date night with Steph, and nothing can come in between that. So
Yeah.
that means I will say no to any other plans that happen outside of date night, unless you and I are like, I think we actually really, really want to go do that. And it's like, okay, but date night's going to be that time, right?
Yeah.
So like usually when we're hanging out with friends, we usually reserve Saturday, like a Saturday evening or sometime during the week to hang out with friends. Why? Because we need some one-on-one time. And I think spontaneity in a relationship is awesome, but when spontaneity is the foundation of your relationship, I really think that you can miss intimacy.
Correct.
And I think creating a time, this time, every single week, we're going to get together and we're going to make this happen. Now, usually when people talk about like date nights, like what I want to be clear about is that this is not like some big elaborate like thing, right? Because I think sometimes the intimidation behind like a date night every single week is like, yo, what is that going to cost?
First of all, it doesn't even have to happen at night.
Right.
We have date days.
Yeah,
We have
good
over
point.
lunch. We have over coffee.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. For us, that happens to be on Friday, but we're going to designate like this is what we're going to do because we want to be intentional about connecting. But sometimes date nights are, yeah, sure, it's a dinner. Sometimes it's salsa dancing in East Colonia, Orlando. Sometimes it's going to the movies. Other times it's us intentionally making a decision that, you know what, tonight we're just going to sit on the couch and we're going to watch some TV together and we're going to find a great movie to watch on
Or
Netflix and get some popcorn.
I'm gonna make some pasta, and
Yeah,
we're going
we're gonna
to.
cook together, like
Hmm.
which has been a challenge because you don't like me in the kitchen when you're cooking. Uh, but yeah, why is that? Let's talk about that. Do you not
No,
like
no,
my?
I don't think we have to talk
You
about
don't?
that.
Do you not like my cooking? I feel like my cooking's pretty
You're
good.
getting better.
I am. I'm getting better.
You're
I'm getting
getting
better. Yeah,
better.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
You can chop a mean pepper.
I can chop a mean pepper. What's a mean pepper?
I can't
I've only
explain.
chopped red peppers. I don't know if I've ever chopped a mean pepper. Anyways, date night or date days. They can be simple,
Yeah.
right? Date nights, date days, they can be simple as long as they're intentional.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with a couple recently, and I love it because they live very, very busy lives. They're very demanding lives, very opposing schedules. And so they take, their lunch break at work once every couple of weeks, every 2 weeks. And they take their lunch break and they meet up right in the middle, and that's their date. So because it's doable in that season of life. But the
Yeah.
most important part is that there's intention. So some of them, sometimes they'll go with like a deck of cards. Another time they'll always do
Right.
something like just intentional to make sure that, they're connecting in that way. Um, Especially like, they can't get a babysitter and stuff like that, right? So it just depends on the season. The
Hmm.
most important part is the intentionality
Right.
behind it.
Right.
It's like, or even if we're going to do it at home, right? You're going to be intentional. You're going to light some candles. You're going to make sure you have a plan. You're going to lay out, a nice comfy area, and you're going to just be intentional
Right.
with what you're doing. We're
Right.
going to play a game tonight,
Yeah.
instead of turning on the TV, or we're
Right.
going to cook a meal together, and it's going to be a new recipe, and we're going to have the instructions out, and it's going to be, something that requires intentionality where you're not distracted.
Right.
You're not, your focus is just each other.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so we're going to prioritize communication. We're going to have date nights with a purpose.
Yep.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us the third thing?
We're going to celebrate the small things.
Let's
We're going to
go.
celebrate progress.
Let's go.
Sometimes we can, and I can be honest, and I can have a moment of vulnerability here and say that if I'm not careful and I'm not intentional with my thinking, I can hyper focus on what is not going well more than I can focus on the things that are going well.
Wait, you do that? I honestly, babe, I would have never said that, honestly. Never. That's crazy.
I cannot with you right now.
That's wild. That's
So I can do that, if I'm not intentional
yeah,
with my way of thinking. And what happens there is that we create like a negative feedback loop in our
right,
minds,
right.
and we reinforce that way of thinking. And
Yep.
so our brains are automatically going to look for evidence of
Mm-hmm.
everything that is not going well.
Right,
And the antidote to that is gratitude.
right.
We're going to celebrate the things that are going well. I'm going to be grateful and express my appreciation and my love for the small things.
Yep.
It's the small things that happen often that make a really big impact in our relationship.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the little things like, oh, thank you so much for thinking about me today and sending me that text message. It really meant the world to me. It came in the right moment. Right. Or I don't know, did something extra around the house, and it's like, man, babe, thank you so much. Or you brought me a glass of water when I didn't ask for it
Yeah,
because
for
I
sure.
can't go to sleep without a glass of water
Yeah.
next to me. It's like, man, babe, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that.
Yep.
Just the small things that you celebrate, often.
Yep.
We're going to be intentional about that to
100%.
create a culture of love and appreciation and gratitude in our relationship. And then we create that mentality, that perspective. Now we create that bias in our head that looks for the things in our life that are actually going well. And we feel better.
Yep.
We feel more connected.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody likes to walk around feeling undervalued and underappreciated.
Right.
So when the way you instill value into your spouse's life is by appreciating the things that they are doing well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for 100%. I think that was like really, really well said. I think another way to like just celebrate celebrate the progress, celebrate the wins. Is like, if it's been a hard week, it's like, hey, we made it to the other side.
That's how most of our weeks have sounded like,
Yeah,
right?
we've made it to the other side of this week. Like,
Yeah.
let's go, you know?
We
Just
did
like,
it.
we did it. We made it. Like, or today was a hard day, but you know what? We got through it together. Or there's a house project that we did, and it's like, we did this house project together, like the garden in our front yard. We've been wanting to do that
That is currently
thing
dead, but let's not
for,
talk about it.
it's not dead.
It's dead.
It's cold,
It's dead.
and my plants don't respond well in the cold.
But you know what, babe? You know what I appreciate? That every single day, every morning, you would go out there and you would grab the water hose and you would water our plants.
In my robe.
I let's not talk about the robe.
Yeah. Why?
Let's not talk about the robe.
Let's talk about the robe. You don't like my robe?
I love the robe.
You
I
started this
bought
problem.
You, the robe.
You started the problem.
I know, but the problem is that you are going outside in a robe. That
Okay.
is not acceptable.
I need you guys to let me know, is it wrong to go outside in the robe? You're completely covered. I mean, I don't get it. How is it different than wearing anything else?
It's very different.
I don't
It's
see it.
very different.
I don't see it. But I live in my robe.
You too.
If I weren't doing this podcast, I'd actually be wearing my robe right now. In fact, I think next time
Absolutely
I'm recording
No.
in my robe.
Never.
But yes, I think that was a really, really great point. We're gonna celebrate the wins.
Yeah.
We're gonna celebrate the wins. And if we're intentional, we'll realize that we've had far more wins than we've had losses.
Yeah. And the wins have nothing to do with the outcome of a situation.
Right.
The wins have to do with how we're doing, how we're feeling, how connected we're doing, how we're navigating this tough season or this tough year or this moment. Those are the wins. The
Yeah.
wins are being able to turn towards each other instead of away from each other whenever you're going through a hard time.
Right.
You know, because sometimes people, I can imagine people listening and saying, oh my gosh, more wins than losses? I don't think you've had the year I've had.
Right, right.
And it actually has nothing to do with those things and everything to do with how you are navigating that together as a couple.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And all right, here we go. The fourth thing that we're gonna do, and we hope that you guys do too, is that we're gonna make a commitment to grow together spiritually.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure that our spiritual health is at our foundation. You know, for us as followers of Jesus, we just don't want to say that we follow, but not live it.
Yeah.
Right. So some of the simple things that we're just going to be intentional about doing is just, we're going to be in our word together.
Yeah.
We're going to go through a devotional together. We're going to be intentional about praying for one another. You know, I think one of the things that I really want to start doing, and we've talked about doing this, is every single day, you know, before we leave the house, we're usually up together. You know, we wake up super early in the morning, we get dressed. I make breakfast, you know, because I'm up before you.
Okay. You're up before me by 15 minutes. Okay. Which I love and appreciate.
Yeah, thank you.
And you make us breakfast.
Yes, make us breakfast. But then we want to take that opportunity really quick to just like read the Bible together, whether we're next to each other or separate rooms. It's just the fact that we're doing it.
Yeah.
And then before we leave the house, just saying a quick prayer for one another.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
inviting Jesus into the relationship.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, I think marriage is the greatest discipleship process that you'll ever be in. And I really think that when Jesus is at the center, he builds a strong foundation in your life. I think you can build a strong marriage on top of that.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love that.
there you go. So 4 things to sustain a healthy, strong, and successful marriage.
Going into the new year. I mean,
Yeah.
what an opportunity we have, whether your marriage has gone through a hard time
Right.
this year, or whether you've gone through a hard time and you just feel out of touch and disconnected. I think right now is such a beautiful time for us to like sit down, reflect,
Yeah.
and then start implementing things
For sure.
that will help you and sustain you throughout the next year. It doesn't have to be complicated.
No, it
Sometimes
doesn't.
we complicate things and we put, all these things in a vision board and a dream board, and it's like, hold on, let's go back to the basics.
Right.
Let's really set the foundation,
Yep.
right? And out of that, everything else will overflow.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I love how you said it doesn't have to be over complicated.
Yeah.
So maybe you're on the podcast today, or you're listening wherever you're at, and you're hearing these 4 things to sustain a healthy marriage. And like 4 things, like I don't even know where to start. Maybe just start with one thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just starting with how to communicate and being intentional about communication. Or maybe it's, we're going to be intentional to set date nights with purpose,
Yeah.
or maybe it's, we're going to make a decision to grow together spiritually. Maybe just tackle one thing at a time. And when you do the one thing really, really well, just go on to the next thing. I really think that each of these things that we talked about, when they're done well, they can create a healthy and a strong foundation to help you sustain any relationship in your life. So, our prayer is that it's been helpful for you.
Yeah.
It's been fun having this conversation with you.
Yeah. We really hope that you have
Yeah.
a Merry Christmas. I hope that you're able to like slow down, reflect,
Yep.
not get caught up in like the chaos of the holidays, and just take some time, maybe with your spouse, with your family, to sit down, reflect, and celebrate the things that happened and went well this year,
Yep.
and look forward to all the incredible things that God's going to do in your life in the new year.
That's right. So, hey, make sure that you go ahead and you subscribe on the YouTube, you follow on the Instagram, you smash that follow button
On
on
Spotify and Apple.
and the TikTok, or the way my parents say it, the TikTok. Just please go ahead and make sure that you subscribe, follow on all the platforms that we're on so that you can continue to join us in on the conversation. But we can't wait to see you
In the new year.
for our next episode
Yeah.
in the new year, 2025. Have a Merry Christmas.